Good morning to those who listen. It is February 16th, 2024, 12:58 a.m. And if you want to really learn about what I think how the sun simulator works, then please listen and watch this. All right, first off, we got Mr. MBB 333 put this out earlier today. Man captured 2 suns in the sky in South Dakota. What is going on? So, if it'll let me play it, he says in the video, hold on, brightness messes it up. He says that he was outside, he was not behind glass, no windows. What's going on? Why is my thing locked? But anyway, he did some other formats of it. There. And it still showed up. I had to turn the brightness down. For some reason, it's too bright. But you can definitely see something's there. Ugh. Oh my goodness, please, go back. What happened now? All right, so one more time. Jeez. Said he was out in the park. He's out in the middle of a park, so there was no... Why is my brightness messed up? And there was nothing, no windows, no nothing in the way. And this is what he saw. And doesn't look like there's any clouds or anything around either. All right, so there you go. What is up with this? All right, so my theory is one of them is the real sun, the orange one. The white one is the sun simulator. And somehow, some way, they didn't get the alignment right. So, try to imagine it as a sun simulator that's in our low orbit in space. If it, I don't think it's in our atmosphere. It could be. Or just in low orbit. I don't think it's way out in space. It's pretty close. So imagine that, but it's in a geosynchronous orbit, so it moves with the sun in front of the sun. And then what I'm going to show you next, how could that possibly be? Okay, I'll show you. All right, so now we're at Nigel's view on things. And he's one of the guys that's been talking about the sun simulator for a long time, and even the moon simulator too. Jeff P is another one. But he shows in here, and I've done this in the past, but it's been a long time, so maybe it's time for a refresher. So if you're going to go to his video, I'll put the link in there too. Try to put both links in there if I remember. Please remind me if I don't put the link in, because sometimes I forget. What was I going to say? So start about 4 minutes and 45 seconds in. He's doing a thing with the moon, and he's got a thermal, what's it called? Hold on, let me go back for a sec. Please go back, jeez. So just so you know, this doesn't relate to the sun simulator, but possibly the moon simulator. So it's a thermal, I don't know what it's not a thermal sensor, okay. And I guess it's like a camera too, so you can point it, on things and, tell you the temperature of it. And he was recording, above 40 degrees on the moon, so it can't be possible. So he thinks that, that's another, some kind of technology in front of the moon, or is the moon? I don't know exactly. Again, I think it's probably, some kind of a weird projection or hologram or something like that. So it started at about 4:45 in the video. And then we got a lensing system. Now this is how they could do it. Okay, let me just kind of play this little bit. All right, so they'll kind of explain it here.
Used a very complex system of lenses in the sky. And let's see.
It's just a bunch of lenses in the sky.
Cloaking is essentially just an optical illusion, and people have been doing that for hundreds of years. There have been many high-tech approaches to
University of Rochester.
Cloaking.
What we've tried to develop
they're cloaking
is
the
a simplified
sun.
version of a perfect cloaking device for small angles. And what we've done is we've simplified it to a 4-lens system. And as you can see, all we've used are off-the-shelf optics that we can get from any of the optical stores. And the great thing about this is it can be scalable to any size that you can make the lenses. But the most important thing that we've done so far is this is the first device that we know of that can do 3-dimensional, continuous, multi-directional cloaking. So if you have rays that go at different angles, you can have the cloaking device still cloak it while what you see in the background is shifted accordingly without any distortion or changes.
So imagine that. If you got a bunch of lenses in a certain pattern, in a certain formation, and then you're able to do this cloaking, so you have the sun simulator and then the lenses behind it, positioned a certain way that it cloaks the sun. So I do believe, though, that we see the real sun at sunrise and sunset, because you see, it's orange then. I think the rest of the time of the day, it's being cloaked. So somewhere right after sunrise, the sun simulator's there, and then right before sunset, then it's back to the real sun again. Maybe they're turning it off. They're maybe turning the lenses. I don't know exactly, but I believe it is a series of lenses that they're using, and that's why our sun is white. So in the other video, where you see the two suns, maybe the lenses weren't lined up properly. Maybe they messed up, made an error, or possibly maybe the earth has tilted and causing, the sun to appear in a different part of the sky, and then the sun simulator would look like it was off, and it would look like there's two suns. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that this makes sense, because I've been trying to explain the sun simulator to people forever. A lot of people say the sun's heat doesn't feel the same either, and I don't think the sun simulator. Well, the sun's light's not different. The sun's light is different now. It's more intense. It's more white light, like a big LED, light in the sky. If you look at, street lights, it's kind of like that. Imagine it like that, but way up in the atmosphere, way up in the low orbit. So hopefully that it kind of explains it a little better. You gotta kind of,
to get a better understanding of how this system works.
He tries to explain it too, so.
And I'll leave the links to his channel in the description box down below.
I'm not sure if there's something else.
You can't just use one lens, but you have to use 4 lenses. And you just set them up according to this equation and their focal points.
There we go. This
will
show. Okay.
Our invisibility
Perfect.
point. But then as you keep going, in order for the background to not look distorted.
Jeez, why? Why do I have to have a hard time pausing it? Okay, so imagine you got a lens. Let's say they put the sun simulator up in here. You got a lens. You got another lens. You got the sun maybe here, or maybe back there. I don't know how they do it exactly. But wherever that focal point is, where the cloaking is, could be how they're doing this. And I don't know how exactly they're doing it, but this makes the most sense to me of what's going on with the sun and the sun simulator. So let me look at the rest of this little bit here.
To recorrect the light that you made diverge right there. But the problem is that the image is now flipped 180 degrees.
Oh, yeah, and the image, here's another important point too. The image is flipped. So whenever you see a halo, or you see a double rainbow, notice that the rainbow on the bottom, I call that God's rainbow, the real rainbow. The colors are in a certain order. And then when you look at the other rainbow, the colors are inverted. They're opposite. Now, why would that be? Bam! That would explain it right there. Let me go back and listen to this one more time.
It's shifted accordingly without any distortion or changes.
To get a better understanding of how this system works, let's have a look at the Action Lab, and I'll leave the links to his channel in the description box down below.
To
Please
get
go
this to
over
work,
and
you
subscribe.
can't just use one lens, but you have to use 4 lenses. And you just set them up according to this equation and their focal points. So this focal point is our invisibility point. But then as you
The
keep
cloaking
going,
spot.
in order for the background to not look distorted, you have to recorrect the light that you made diverge right there. But the problem is that the image is now flipped 180 degrees.
So
Okay.
watch how this works now. But again, you know, everything is flipped. So they have to have these lenses in a perfect order. But if you notice, when you see the sun, especially like when it's behind clouds, or the clouds, I'm sorry, when it's behind the clouds, you know, the sun looks totally different. It looks really huge. And then sometimes if you see it like through the clouds, then it looks like a tiny little dot. Imagine the tiny dot as the sun simulator in the middle of this huge giant light source, right? And then, you know, I've shown you guys this, you know, where you see the sun simulator, where you put your finger or a pen or something and you can see the little light in the middle. That little light in the middle is the sun simulator. Imagine that. And then all the light that goes around it is coming through that little pinpoint light. You know, like magnifying lenses would do. So they're using these lenses to do all this cloaking, all this hiding of everything in the sky. And whose technology is it? Is this man's technology? I do not believe it. I believe it's fallen angel technology. I hope this helps people to kind of understand what I'm trying to explain
Watch as I
all
dangle
these years.
something in front of the lens, how it just disappears.
So, you know, imagine that's the sun. And they got these lenses just right. Oh, you can't see the sun no more. They put an artificial sun in front of it.
Technology. When I say lens,
And that's why it's white.
A Fresnel lens.
But then you also get that weird stuff around the sun all the time, including the rose petals.
You can see what I'm talking about there. A very complex system of lenses in the sky to hide
See that
things.
thin pole right there?
And the reason because if
It was a little bit higher and the sun moved over a little bit more, it would knock that out.
They really don't want
The real sun
to
can't do
happen.
that.
Now, if I superimpose a picture of a Fresnel lens, or Fresnel lens, whatever you like to call it, beside this object here, how the two look identical. Of course, that's just a camera abnormality. That's something we normally get to see on the camera. Of course it is. There is no way that these two are connected.
And I've shown that many
there's
times
technology
too.
in our skies.
All right,
Is
so I don't want to keep going
I
on
think
and
what we
on.
need to do is stop
But
for 1 second
he
and
goes,
get a little...
please pause. Goodness sakes. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my TV. It's like whenever when I do videos, then I can't get the video to pause or stop. Whatever. It's always something. Anyway, so I'll put the links down in the description box. You can watch Nigel's view on things and Mr. MBB. And then, you know, think about it. Research it yourself. You know, don't just believe me. But, you know, go outside and take pictures and videos of the sun. Of the sun simulator. Well, what will be the sun simulator. You'll see that, you know, this is not our real sun. It's not normal. So hopefully that will help people to understand the sun simulator. There's not too many people that do videos and research on, you know, the sun simulator, but that's what I think is going on in our skies. I don't think there's a second sun. I think it's some kind of, you know, technology from, you know, fallen angel, I think, fallen angel technology that they're putting in front of the sun, and it moves with the sun, so it's always in front of the sun. They put those lenses in there to hide the sun. So all we see is this white thing in the sky, except for at sunrise and sunset. I think it's turned off, or maybe the sun is just, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing there, but either way, hopefully this explains it a little more, and we can see that this is the devil, fallen angels, doing this to deceive people. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. God bless.